I present to you today Il Capitano, a recurring character in Commedia dell'Arte. Il Capitano means, of course, the captain, a military commander. Though Il Capitano was most likely never a captain, his name is self-imposed. He is a braggart and creates a false sense of bravado. Il Capitano was first introduced to Commedia dell'Arte as a parody of French and Spanish mercenaries who lived in 16th century Italy. Over the years, he has evolved, however, to simply represent an egotistical boaster. He maintains his impression of a brave, proud captain only because he is a stranger to locals. He moves around from city to city. He comes from afar, usually thought of to be a Spaniard. Il Capitano is all talk and show. He tries to keep up the image of a fierceless, militaristic man, but in reality, he is a complete coward. Il Capitano is not afraid to brag about fictional past fights and wars he has participated in, but will squirm away from an actual fight. Il Capitano is a narcissistic man. When he tells his made-up stories about his many voyages and conquests, he often only impresses himself. In the face of a losing war, Il Capitano would likely switch sides, abandoning all loyalties and duties. As far as costume goes, Il Capitano usually wears a military-esque uniform. He is dressed to impress the ladies, very neat and uniform. He keeps a sword at his side at all times. On the exterior, he tries to come across as a very brave soldier, even though on the inside, beneath the fashionable clothes or military uniform, he is, of course, a coward. Most of the masks I found usually have long noses, which is supposed to actually have phallic representations. The mask we have here has a much smaller nose, but there are different variations. Another variation has a smaller nose and a more comical face, which is more like ours. It's more rounder cheeks, comical. Yeah. For movement, Il Capitano takes up as much space as possible when he walks. He has overly straight posture with his chest leaned forward. He keeps a large space in between his legs when he walks, making him seem more firm and strong, more level with the ground. When Il Capitano walks, he lifts each leg high melodramatically, but still barely moving forward at all. When he runs, he does something similar, lifting legs high, but he might stop in the road because of a pebble or a branch in the way. A common stance for Il Capitano would be his hand on a sword or his chest, showing he is not only proud of his skills and physique, but he wants everybody to know it. When presenting himself, Il Capitano usually gives himself a showy name, such as Escobombardum, which means fired out of a cannon, or Rodamonte, which means mountain crumbler. He might declare this loudly when entering a space or a room. He has a loud, deep, and manly voice to try and show that he is in control and is confident. When he gets scared, however, his manly tone might be reduced to whimpers and a childish tone. If Il Capitano sees an animal or rodent, such as a mouse, he would likely curl up into a ball and shriek, terrified. Physically exploring how Il Capitano moves and acts largely consisted of me basically prancing around and exaggerated lifting of my legs, while still only barely moving forward at all. It's actually a lot of fun. I kind of used my experience of playing Dr. Creon to work on Il Capitano's posture, which is very straight back with his chest proudly in front. It is also fun because when Il Capitano gets scared, he will shriek back into a ball and pretty much assume the opposite of a proud stance. So right now I'll just do a quick presentation of what Il Capitano might look like in a Commedia dell'Arte performance. Aha! Escobombardon! Il Capitano. He's so beautiful. Wow. Lovely. I know, ladies. Please, keep your hands to yourself. Looking is for free, but no touching. Ah, I'm so beautiful. Are you looking at me weirdly? Do you want to fight? Because I'm not scared of fighting. No, if we fight, you will have deep regrets. Il Capitano always wins. no mercy. But no fighting right now, huh? The ladies are present. Next week. Not now. We wouldn't want to scare any of the children present. No. What's that? Is that a mouse? No! Oh, don't worry, ladies. Ladies, please. It's just a leaf. I think it's just a leaf. That would be bad. Mice are dangerous, very dangerous creatures. Be careful. So yeah, that's just a brief, very brief show of what the Capitano might look like. Like I said before, he's very manly and in his exterior, like words and everything. But when a fight is actually coming up, he will back off, however possible, just to avoid a fight. So exploring Il Capitano really broadened my perspective of the importance of Commedia dell'Arte. Before this project, I had basically no idea of who Il Capitano really was, besides thinking of probably a captain. Now I see Il Capitano as a stock character that has given writers inspiration for characters we all recognize today. For instance, while doing research on Il Capitano, I discovered that both Puss in Boots from Shrek and Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter were inspired by the stock character of Il Capitano. This made so much sense to me looking back at their characters in the books and movies. And I later began to actually make connections for myself between elements of Il Capitano and other characters. For example, brave Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail exhibits certain personalities that are similar to Il Capitano, actually. This impacted me because it reinstated the idea that everything really is a remix, like we learned in 9th grade. And it's so interesting to me how characters created hundreds of years ago still have inspired writers today. I just think that's so cool. Il Capitano also impacts Commedia dell'Arte as a whole, because he provides comic relief through his personality, and some of the other characters also make fun of him. Thank you everybody for listening to my